Hi, and congratulations on your 2019 Nissan Altima Platinum Edition. This is an absolutely amazing vehicle. Nissan did a phenomenal job when they redesigned it this year. I know that there's a ton of features in this vehicle that you're going to love. You're going to enjoy the drive and the comfort that it offers. We did cover a lot during the delivery, and there is a lot to go over. So to refresh your memory, we're going to go back through everything, make sure that you're comfortable, and at the end of this, if you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can call, text, email, or stop in. I'm more than happy to help you with anything that you need. Let's have a look at your new vehicle and see what we can. So the 2019 Altima has this beautiful new floating display here. It is a full touchscreen display as we see them on the radio right now. If I want, I can flip over. I do have a navigation system. So the beauty of the navigation system is when you get home, connect your Wi-Fi, and you simply do that by hitting settings and then connections. On your Wi-Fi, find yours here and then just connect to it. Once you're connected to your Wi-Fi, then you're going to go into the info. You're going to go over a screen, and then you're going to go into system information. From here, anytime that there is a system software update, it's automatically going to pull it in for your vehicle. If you want, you can go ahead and you can manually trigger it. Or when you want to do an update on your map, you're going to go in through the Wi-Fi. Now it's not going to find anything right now because I'm not connected. But by doing this, it will allow you to update your map, and Nissan typically puts updates out there 3 to 5 times per year. So you can update your map for free and make sure that you've always got the most up-to-date version. Also under connections is where you're going to go to connect your phone. So you can have up to 6 devices connected here. The beauty of it is, if you have yourself as a driver and a passenger, the driver obviously wants their phone to be hooked up to be able to answer calls. But for your passenger, if you want to listen to music from their device, it will allow you to deselect the music on the driver's phone and select it on the passenger's, so that even though it will still take calls on the driver's phone, it will allow you to play music from somebody else's phone inside the vehicle. So we're going to come back at it here. For our navigation system, if you know where you're going, you can just enter the exact address. Really simple to use, easy to operate. If you're just looking for something close by, your points of interest is going to give you all kinds of options. So you can just pick what you're looking for, and then it's going to start with whatever's closest to you. For your home location, I do recommend just setting it something near your home. Heaven forbid somebody steal your vehicle. You don't want them knowing where you live, so do not set your house as your home location. Your map shows right here. I can zoom in or zoom out using this. It is touchscreen, so I can pinch it or spread it out using my fingers to zoom in or zoom out. Points of interest is along the bottom as well. So we're going to go back to our audio screen. I do get 12 presets on my FM radio. On my satellite radio, I get 18 presets, and satellite radio is going to be free for the first 3 months. I also have options to stream through Bluetooth or USB or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on what you're using. We do have a physical back button down here as well. So I do want to show you the backup camera. So this gives me a really nice clear view of behind me over on the left side of the screen, and on the right side I have a 360-degree round view monitor, so it's a bird's eye view around the vehicle. So with this, I have distance markers here, and I can see across the bottom is my bumper, so if I need to get in really tight, I can park as close as my bumper, or providing I keep everything above the red distance marker here, I have room to be able to get in between the vehicles to access what's in my bumper. And as we saw there a second ago, we do have predictive lines that will move with the steering wheel as well. Now, when I'm in park, I can also hit the camera button. Instead of a view out the back, I now have a view out the front. So I can see out the front of the vehicle there. Again, with the predictive lines. And the same thing up here. So with this, if I'm parked, I can see what's in front of me. Or if I'm pulling into a parking spot, providing I am below 10 kilometers an hour, I can hit the camera button and it will come on. The moment you hit 10 kilometers an hour or the camera's been on for 2 minutes, it will turn off on its own. Now, a really nice feature when I'm in reverse, if I hit the camera button, down the passenger side of the vehicle shows on this side here. If I line my yellow line up with the curb, then I'm 6 inches from the curb. Really, really nice. One more touch gives me just the backup camera on the full screen, and then we'll put it back to where it was. I'll put us back in park, and then I'm going to turn our camera off and put us back to here. We still have our buttons down below here to operate everything. The menu button is going to take us to the main menu. This screen with our widgets is customizable right through the main menu in the settings. You can pick and choose what's going to show up on there. So I'm going to back out of there. We're back to our main menu where I have info, audio, main menu, my navigation, and connections and settings. I'm just going to put us back over to audio at the moment. Down below here, I have my dual climate control. Now right now, I see 2 different temperatures, vastly different set. I'm going to hit the sync button and everything's going to sync up with the driver's side. Right now it's set for auto, so when it's on auto, it's automatically going to determine where my airflow goes and how high my fan speed is. On a really cold day, that fan is going to be off all the way right away when you turn the car on, but as the car warms up, that fan's going to crank up all the way. And then as you get closer to the temperature that you have set, that fan's going to start to dial back all on its own. It's then going to do just what it has to maintain the temperature inside the vehicle. Same thing on a hot day, it's going to crank up all the way and spit out cool air. And then as you get closer, it'll dial it down and then again do what it has to maintain. If you want to manually adjust, I can adjust my fan here. I can adjust where my airflow is going here. Unless I want it on the windshield, then it has its own button for quick access. My rear defrost will also activate my heated side mirrors. I have a heated steering wheel right in the center here, which will stay on for 30 minutes. After that, it's going to turn out. If you want it back on, just push the button again and it will come back on, but inside the cabin should be warm after 30 minutes. Then we have our heated seats here. Right now this one is set for high. I can turn it down to low or turn it back off, or I can turn it back on. Now the beauty about this is, when I remote start my vehicle, because it is equipped with factory remote start, and we'll look at that on the key fob later on. When I remote start my vehicle here, if it is below 3 degrees Celsius outside and my engine is cold, inside the vehicle here, regardless of what my climate control is set for, all of my air is going to focus up on the windshield and the 2 front side windows using the vents up on the dash. It's also going to automatically turn on my heated steering wheel and my rear defrost, which will activate my heated side mirrors. And if my heated seat was left in an on position, it will start warming that up as well. Great features. You can adjust the temperature for the driver's side here, or if it's in sync, it'll adjust both. If it's not in sync, I can still go through and adjust the passenger side there. My AC button is down below, and I can turn it on or off over here. Down below here we have our USB ports. Now, this is new for Nissan in 2019. We have a standard USB port and our auxiliary port. We also have a new port. It's a Type-C USB port. So with a Type-C USB port, I have an Apple phone that I use on a regular basis. So my Apple phone comes with a lightning port, a lightning cord. And my lightning cord looks like this. But for a Type-C USB port on a vehicle like this, my cord is going to have 2 ends. One end has the lightning port, but the other end has a Type-C port. So I can plug that right into there and then into my phone, and it's going to work the exact same way. And when I use that, that's what's going to trigger Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on what you have. If you do have an Android, you need to download the Android Auto software. It's an app. It is a free download from the Google Play Store. Coming down here, we have our push button start, which is right beside my gear shift. And then further down, we have an electronic parking brake. So with that, I pull up on it to engage it, which is now red. To disengage it, I have to put my foot on the brake and then push down. If I don't do that, it will not disengage. Auto hold is a great feature when I turn it on once I start driving. When I come to a full complete stop, up on my tachometer there will be a white A that says hold underneath it, and when I come to a stop for more than 2 seconds, that A is going to turn green, and then I can take my foot off the brake and the vehicle will hold in place. You do have to turn this on when you turn your vehicle on, and that A needs to turn green before you can take your foot off the brake. But once you do, it will hold you in place, whether you're sitting idling on a flat road in traffic or on a hill behind somebody facing up or down. It's also great in the drive-through so that you don't have to keep hitting the buttons. Next up, we're going to have a look at what's on our steering wheel. So here we have a beautifully laid out D-shaped sport wheel. So we have a flat bottom on the wheel, which is great for a little extra room by your legs. On the right hand side of the wheel, we have our Bluetooth hands-free. So this button here is going to answer or hang up a call. This button over here is going to allow us to make an outbound call, or we can set our navigation. So if I look over at my navigation and I go into destination, these buttons are all going to gray out once I start driving. So it is a hazard to try and set this while you're driving using the screen, which is why the buttons are going to gray out. But if you are driving and you want to set your navigation without stopping, you can hit your voice recognition button, tell it navigation, and then give it the exact street address that you want following the prompts, and it will go through and set your navigation for you while you're driving without having to stop. This button here is going to turn on our cruise control. And when I do that, my driver assist display screen is immediately going to change. So it gives me a nice view there. We're going to go over why in just a second. From there, I can set, I can resume, I can cancel, increase my speed, decrease my speed. You also have adaptive cruise control on this vehicle. So with the adaptive cruise control, by default, your distance is going to be set. So right now I have a distance of 1 car length plus safe distance set. Using this button here, I can change my distance. Back up to 3, or down to 2, or down to 1. This allows you to set everything as far as when the vehicle is going to react. Your adaptive cruise control, when you're catching up to a vehicle in front of you, because they're not going as fast as you are with the cruise set, it will readjust your speed to match that vehicle until either they move out of the way or you get a chance to go out and around them, at which point it will bring you back up to the speed that you have your cruise set right up here. So really nice feature. To go with that, we also have a couple other features that we're going to go over in just a moment. On the left side of our steering wheel, we have our volume for our radio, which is just right here. That's all of our audio. These two buttons down here, when you're on audio, if you're on the radio or satellite radio, those two buttons are going to skip through your presets. If you're streaming through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, USB, or Bluetooth, those two buttons are actually going to skip tracks. This is a back button that goes with this here. So, if we look right now, our driver assist display screen is on the home screen. Our home screen is going to show me a compass, because I have a navigation system, a digital speedometer, as well as what's going on with my radio. If I hit the right arrow, and we're going to use the left and right arrows here, and the up and down. So if I go to the right, I can see I have my average fuel economy. Right now it is reset. This car is phenomenal on gas. Our next screen over is a trip odometer, and if I hit down, I can see my tire pressure. This will appear once I start driving. So when I'm driving, it will show me each tire individually and what the exact pressure is on it. If I get a low tire, it's going to pop up with a warning that's going to say low tire. It's going to tell me what tire is low and what the exact pressure is. From there, if I go to the garage or go somewhere to put air in the tire, I simply start putting air in the tire. When it gets to the right pressure, the car horn is going to beep once to tell me to stop. If I continue to put air in or somehow go to the wrong tire, when it hits an upper limit, the horn will beep 3 times in a row. You do have to stop at that point or you risk ruining your tire. We do have a feature called speed sign recognition. So as you're driving along and you pass a speed sign, it's going to appear on this screen right here. It utilizes a camera on the back of your auto dimming rear view mirror, right back here, and it reads that sign. From there, it will post it there. It's also going to post it up here even if you're not on this screen, so that you always know what your speed limit is. Next screen to the right is pertaining to our navigation system. So with this, right now, when there's no destination set, it's going to look just like a compass and a car showing you which direction you're going. If you set in a destination, this is going to change to have an arrow going up to the left or up and to the right, whichever direction your next turn is. It's also going to count down the distance until that turn on the screen. And the system is going to talk to you through the navigation system as well. Our next screen to the right shows what's going on with our radio. So from this screen, I can press the OK button and change the source of my audio. So Nissan has designed this so that right from the steering wheel, I can control everything to do with my audio with my thumb, all without ever taking my hands off the wheel and without taking my eyes off the road. Our next screen to the right, this is pertaining to our safety shield. So with this is our adaptive cruise. If I turn it back on, this is where we get back into these features here. So on this screen here, I have my distance set. If I hit down, now it tells me I have forward emergency braking in the front, to which there is an audio sound to go with it. The way that that's going to work is if the vehicle in front of you suddenly hits the brakes, or you're closing the gap between you and the vehicle in front of you very quickly, inside the Altima, it's going to beep at you and the gas pedal is going to push back against your foot a little bit. If you do not react fast enough at that point, the beeping will get louder and faster, and if necessary, it will start to apply the brake up to 60% to help avoid or minimize an oncoming collision. We also have blind spot indicators, which have an audio sound to go with them under certain circumstances. So our blind spot indicators are located here on each side of the vehicle. With that, when you have a vehicle that's in your blind spot, whichever side it's on, whether you're passing it or it's passing you, your blind spot indicator on that side is going to light up and stay lit up a dull orange. If you have a blind spot indicator lit up, so let's say for example my driver's side indicator is lit up a dull orange and I signal to go left while that's lit up, my indicator is going to start flashing and it is going to beep at me 2 or 3 times inside the Altima to let me know that I do have a vehicle in my blind spot. We have lane drift warning, which again has a notification to go with it. So for your lane drift warning, if you start to drift out of your lane, hitting the lines on either side of the road, which are monitored using a camera in behind the mirror, it's going to give you a sound inside and your steering wheel is going to vibrate. It's very cool. It will absolutely bring you back to attention to make sure that you get back in your own lane. We have lane drift intervention as well. So if your cruise is not on and you start to drift out of your own lane, let's say you're drifting to the right a little bit, it's going to tap the front left brake slightly just to pull you back into your own lane if you're not correcting it yourself, and vice versa on the other side. So that's your lane drift intervention. You also have a feature called rear emergency braking. So very much like the front, if you're backing up and there is an object behind you, usually within a foot, if you're not slowing down fast enough, the Altima will take you to a full complete stop 1 foot away from hitting whatever's behind you to help avoid colliding with the object behind you. You do have backup sensors as well, and those are going to beep as you're backing up as well. The final piece is rear cross traffic detection. So when you go to back out of a parking spot, if you have movement behind you within 2 car lengths on either side of you, inside the vehicle it will beep at you, and whichever side your movement's coming from, your blind spot indicator on that side of the vehicle is going to be flashing to let you know this is the direction that there's movement coming towards you. Our last screen over here is our settings. So with our settings, there are a couple features that I changed. One of them is how the vehicle unlocks. By default, Nissan vehicles will automatically unlock the doors when you turn the vehicle off. So I've gone into the vehicle settings, locking, and as we see, I've changed it so that the moment I shift into park, the vehicle will automatically unlock for me. It is the preferred method for most people. The other feature I change is the wipers. I do make them speed dependent, so when your wipers are on intermittent, if you're driving on residential roads and then get out on the highway, the wipers will move a little bit faster to go with your traffic. When you have your Pro Pilot on, so with your cruise control, even though it's adaptive, we have a feature indicated by right here called Pro Pilot Assist. This tells me it's on. It's a driver assist display, or a driver assist steering. So if I turn it off, my steering wheel goes away. I'm going to turn it back on, and it comes back on. Pro Pilot Assist is semi-autonomous driving. It's going to help you steer the vehicle, so you will feel it help move the wheel to keep you centered between the lines. I am going to attach another video after this one in your email showing you the full functionality of ProPilot Assist. It's a great feature. It's designed for long drives or late night drives where, depending on how long you've been driving or how alert you are, your brain might be into a little bit of a haze, or you might not be completely focused and into that kind of an autopilot mode that we tend to get into. That's where ProPilot is most useful to help keep you centered between the lines. Over here we've got some buttons. So this is the button to turn on and off the ProPilot or the steering assist. This will release our trunk. This is our brightness for the dash when the lights are on, which the lights are set to auto. And then we have a trip reset. So down below I have an odometer right down here. If I hit trip reset, I get another trip odometer, separate from the one that we already saw in the driver assist display. I can press and hold to reset that. If I go at it again, I get a second trip odometer, and I'm going to press and hold to reset. So it gives me lots of options there, and I can go back over that. Also down here, we have memory seats. So if you guys are anything like my wife and I, where there is about 7 inches in the difference in height between us, or maybe there's not that much, but you'd like different settings on your seat, you're going to set your side mirror and your seat to where you want it, what's comfortable for you. And then from there, you're going to hit set and either driver 1 or driver 2. From there, anytime that you're going to get in the vehicle, just hit your own button and everything goes back to where you had it set. And that way you don't have to worry about fiddling with it, because with power seats, it takes about a week fiddling with it to find your optimal spot. And then the moment somebody else gets in and moves it, you're fiddling with it all over again. This takes that all away. It allows you to just set it right here for quick, easy comfort. Our rear view mirror, as I mentioned, is an auto dimming rear view mirror. We've also got home links, so you can set up to 3 garage door openers on it, which is really nice. And then up above here, we do have a moonroof. I can pull that over just using the shade here, or I can tilt it by pressing up, and it tilts it just like a vent. If I push forward, it will close it. If I push back, it will open that up, and I can stop that anywhere along the way. If I push forward again, it will close it back over. The last thing I want to go over with you is your key fob. So, it is a key fob where we do have a push button ignition. Because it's a key fob, eventually the battery is going to die. Batteries are usually good for 2 to 4 years. With that, when your battery starts getting low, your first indication that your battery is low is you're going to hop in, you're going to go to start the vehicle, and up here it's going to tell you incorrect key ID. When that happens, just let the message go away and try it again, and it should start. That's your indication that it's time to think about replacing your battery. If you go to the point where your battery is dead, on the back, there's a little switch here that if I push it over, I have a key for my driver's side door. That key will allow me to get into the vehicle. Once I get in, I'm going to take the Nissan emblem on the key fob, put it directly against the start button, and use that to push the button down. That will still allow me to start the vehicle. From there, you're going to want to go get a new battery. You can either go directly to Nissan, where they'll change it out for you, or you can do it yourself by purchasing a battery at anywhere that sells them, usually Walmart or the drugstores or anywhere like that. To do so, pop the key out, and then in one of those 2 little recessed areas, get something small in there and give it a twist, and this will pop open. The battery that's inside has a number on it, and that number is your battery size. Once you've got that, you can go purchase a battery, put the new one in, click it all back together, put your key back in place, and you're good to go again. We have a panic button on the bottom of our key fob. Press and hold this for 2 seconds to open your trunk. We have unlock and lock. We have factory remote start, and I mentioned that earlier. So to work our factory remote start, I'm going to hit lock, and then I'm going to hold this top button for 5 seconds. That will remote start your vehicle from up to 200 feet away. Once you remote start it, it will run for up to 10 minutes. You do physically have to engage the vehicle to get it going once you get in. And it will tell you right up on the driver assist display, even though it's been started through remote start, it'll tell you up here, put your foot on the brake and push the start button, and that will engage the vehicle. You can extend the time on it if you're running behind. So let's say it's been running for 7 or 8 minutes and you know that you're going to be at least 5 more. Hit the lock, hold the top button for 5 seconds. It will add an additional 10 minutes to the count from wherever you're at. So if you've been running for 8 minutes, it'll now run to the 18-minute mark. Or if you decide that you're not going anywhere, just press and hold this top button for 3 seconds and that will turn the vehicle back off. You can remote start the vehicle twice or once with one extension. After that, it will not let you remote start again. You have to physically get in and engage the vehicle. That's done by design so you can't accidentally remote start it multiple times and run down your gas or the battery. Congratulations again on your 2019 Nissan Altima Platinum. This is the edition one that we're in, which is the same as the Platinum edition with a couple of extras in terms of aesthetics. It's a beautiful car. I hope this video helped refresh your memory and go back over everything that we covered during the delivery. If you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Call, text, email, or stop into O'Regan's Nissan in Dartmouth. I'm more than happy to help you out, and if I'm not around, one of my colleagues will help you. Anytime that you're in to do your regular maintenance, please stop by and say hello. Unless I see you, then I'll stop by and say hello to you. And I look forward to dealing with you again in the future. I hope you enjoy your wonderful car.